Okay, we are recording now. Welcome everyone. As John said, my name is Brandy Parker, and this is the 5th session of our Monday Middle School Webinars series. And if you have not already, if you would please, I'm not sure if this link right here that you're seeing is clickable, but if it's not, if you could copy and paste it into an internet browser or just type it in, we are going to try to utilize Todaysmeet, the website, and use it for a chat box so that, thanks to Carrie Beth Jones for suggesting this, she suggested that she would like to see an actual chat box so that everyone could view it, everyone could participate, contribute, ask questions, and help me out by answering each other's questions or giving suggestions. We're also going to use this at the end or the second half of today's session and try to use it for people sharing and giving us advice and asking questions. So you also are seeing right over here on the bottom right corner, there is also a QR code that takes you straight to this chat box. So also what I'm going to try to do here is I am going to take the chat and keep it up. So I'm seeing some people right now. So if you would, if y'all put in your first and last name or something like that, we already have an attendance roster, so more just to kind of know who we're talking to and who we're hearing from. Wonderful, I'm seeing some people here. Hi everyone, and whenever you have a message, whenever you have something to say, you can type it over here where it says message. So I'll just type something to everyone, and when I hit enter, it goes up to the very top. And I'm going to keep this hopefully up right over here on the left side of the screen so that it will also get recorded as we go through the session today. So hopefully I will also be periodically checking our questions box and see if anyone has any questions or any, I'll also put that over there for you guys, Todaysmeet. Send to all. Just in case anyone needs any assistance, please definitely let us know. We still have that questions box or chat box. I'm not sure what it's called to you guys. Okay.
Brandy?
Yes.
I did add the address over in the chat area, so if everybody checks their questions, they've got that web address in there so they can access it from there because it's not accessible on the window.
Oh, okay. Okay, wonderful. So thank you, John. That is over in your chat box or your questions area. The link is there. I tried to post it, and John said he also posted it. So please let us know if you have in the questions or chat box if you have any questions or you're unable to access that. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and move on. Okay, now today some things that I wanted to talk about were Todaysmeet, and then we're going to talk about a couple, two different options that I had been using and looking at most recently in class about personal finance and economics. I know that we talked about some 8th grade resources last webinar, but I also wanted to kind of expand upon those. I know I relied heavily on discussions about using Everify, which I still absolutely love, but I also wanted to show you all some other options that possibly you could use. And then Educators Technology Site I'll talk about in just a few minutes as well. So first, Todaysmeet, as you can see over here, I'm going to go ahead and expand this just a little bit. And some things that you can do in Todaysmeet, just wanted to show you. You can create a room, a chat room, that you can use with your students in class. It can be used with personal devices on your desktop computers. And what you can do is you don't only have to do this in real time. You can, as let's say they're watching a video or you're giving a lecture or a student possibly is giving a presentation in class, and students could use this to give feedback, peer editing possibly on maybe something that they were that the students were presenting about. You could ask the students a question. So I'm going to put in a question here. I'm going to put in, have you ever used Todaysmeet? And I put the question in. Now, if you have or you haven't, please give me a response either way if you're logged in to Todaysmeet. The one thing that I really, really like about Todaysmeet is that, well, actually, there's a bunch of things. First, I like the fact that students do not have to have an email, a login. All they have to do is put in their first and last name or whatever username that you decide to give them, and they, like I said, don't have to have that email. The other thing that I absolutely love is that, for instance, this Todaysmeet chat room that I have right here is open for an entire month. So that is not only open just for today. So if you have students who are working at different, if you have students that are working at different paces or different speeds and you want them to go in and give a comment on some article that they're reading, notice right here that you can only use 140 characters. But if you'd like them to give a couple sentences or answer very quickly or whatever it is, they can put multiple messages in, multiple responses. So I like the fact that you can leave it open for a certain amount of time. You can have multiple, and as a teacher, I signed in and it's free. And I'm just going to show you that on my teacher side of it, you can see that I can have a closed room, an open room. You can have anyone can join yours or just people at your school, just signed in users. I currently have ours today set at anyone can join because I didn't want you guys to have to set up anything. So you see here that I have it opened on January the 30th, and it doesn't close until March 1st, so that gives a long period of time for people to be able to go in and use it. And then I'm going to go back to it. You also have the ability to set it so that students can see. I'm going to click on projector view just so you guys can see. I can set it on projector view so that if I was using it in class and asking students to put answer a question or check for understanding, you could even have them put in their computer number, so student 1, student 2, student 3, whatever it is, and it would pop up on the projector and you wouldn't see all that extra stuff that you guys were seeing just a minute ago. So I'm going to go back over here, and I got to get back into it. So I do want you guys to know, I see some people are saying that they are either traveling or something like that, so they are unable to see the Todaysmeet. So I do want y'all to know that I'm trying to make sure that I keep Todaysmeet completely clear on my screen so that we can see all the questions that are being asked and what we're talking about, what questions or comments people are saying. Dr. Stacy Brown said, is there sound? Does anyone know? As far as I know, there is not any sound. Does anyone know any different, though? You can ask questions, you can use it for checking for understanding, and you can save the chat room transcripts, which I will also send to you guys later, what we talked about today. Okay, so I am going to move on to the next topic. I do love Todaysmeet. I have seen it. I saw someone say that they had seen it at ISTE conference, and I also saw it there, and I really liked using it with my students. The next thing that I wanted to show you guys is Econ Lowdown. And this is through the St. Louis Fed website. So what the Econ Fed allows you to do, I'm going to show you this part first before we go in there. You are allowed to sign your students up very easily, and I'll show you in just a moment exactly what I did. However, the student logins are not, you can, if I was to go in and type every student's login and password in, I could have done that and set it all up, but I have 60 students that I was signing up for this, and so I let them automatically assign usernames and passwords, and I'll show you how I approached that. But you're able to monitor student progress in each of the courses, and I'm going to show you right now the topics that they have. That's actually better than telling you what you can do quite yet. So, budgeting. And basically I was looking for some things that I could use for personal finance and that I could also use for econ, because I keep trying to change things up and see what works better. And each 9 weeks, I'm sure most of y'all also know or also have this same thing going on. I just have different students with different needs, and some are moving extremely fast and some not so fast. So here are some of the topics that I can use. Sorry, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger for you. Okay, so you walk through some of these. I'm just going to click on Preview the Course, and you can see here that they can go through and see videos, and they can they get real world examples. I really like this because they say they're talking about maybe in college or in high school how much money they receive for books. They have to use an Excel spreadsheet, which they provide, and it's actually just attached right there, and ask them questions based on whether or not they completed the Excel spreadsheet correctly, and they would have completed it, have to have completed it correctly to find the correct answer, and it does. Now, some of this stuff goes a little bit too in-depth. This is like post-college, and, you know, goes through surveys, vocabulary. You can see some of the definitions and vocabulary here. But I liked some of the other ones that were about cards, cars. Can you guys still hear me? If y'all could say something, respond in the today's meet. Okay, great. Sorry, all of a sudden my sound, it had white noise and now it doesn't anymore. So, okay, just making sure. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. So we are, looking at some of these different lessons. You'll notice that they're about financial literacy, and we also have different kinds of currency, banking, things like that. So some of the stuff that I was telling you guys was about my classrooms and things, ways that I can check for understanding or check to see. I can assign them specific units, or like I really liked this one right here that was on opportunity cost. And this one right here on opportunity cost was pretty short. You see it only takes them 15 minutes to complete, but it helps them with decision making, personal and societal concepts in economics. I really liked that. And you also have the ability to preview what's going to happen. Preview what the students will see, and gives them a pre-test, a post-test, and just a little bit of information on what opportunity cost is. And this is what it looks like for me as the teacher. So I can go through and I can see what the students' progress, how far they had gotten in that module, their pre-test score and their post-test score. I really liked this. The students were able to get through it pretty quickly. They were able to do pretty well, but as you can see, maybe some aren't trying as hard as they maybe should. And the other thing that I am not a huge fan of is the fact that they can't retake their post-test, because I told them initially I wanted them to retake their post-test to get a better grade, to get credit for completing this, and I wasn't able to figure out quite yet how to go in and have them retake that test. But Econ Lowdown has all kinds of resources that maybe you just want. This one, Once Upon a Decision, is one that I showed you, and it was about decision making, and it gave a little story about Ella, and some were really easy and some were really difficult decisions. So also they have professional development here, and like I said, as far as I can tell, you cannot, the students cannot retake the post-test. And I gave you a little example of the instructor panel. And I have the topics on here. I know they're really tiny. You can't really read them, but that's kind of for future use. Notice a lot of them are about decision making, and that's going to be very important for critical thinking and problem solving. So the next resource that I ran across recently that is sponsored by Northwest Georgia Credit Union, and so that's here in Georgia, is a foolproof financial literacy curriculum. And I'm going to show you, this is just in case you might be interested, you have the ability to go through and do a demo login. So I'm just going to log in to the demo real quick. You do have to request to be able to get a username and password, but it's completely free. And once you, right here is what I was talking about, you have to request a username and password, and they will tell you what. I'm just going to actually show you mine. And it'll take just a second to log in. It does say it is for high school, but there are definitely some for that would be very pertinent and appropriate for our classes. So you can do the same idea that we were doing before. You can set up your class, monitor student progress, create lesson plans, use lesson plans for already established teachers and modules, but I wanted to show y'all real quick the types of information that they have inside this foolproof personal finance curriculum website. So we have when it hits the fan, and it'll tell you right here, here's some of the pieces of information. So money and decision making, you and your money, how does money play a role in your life and in many people's life, financial scams that are aimed at young people, so that could be really pertinent and appropriate for our age students, some other things related to that. And here are some other information about credit, credit scores, info like that. And it goes on. What I really like is the fact that if you have students who are struggling readers, if you have special education students in your class, you can choose in the background in your teacher login that they are a special education student, and it won't look any different or appear any different than any other students in the class. It will not even appear any different to the student who you've actually selected on their end, only in your side. But it will give you some options, such as questions will have simplified wording. Instead of having 4 multiple choice, it'll only have 2 possible answers. And instead of having 20 or more questions on the test, it'll only have 10 questions. So I thought that was really awesome, if for nothing else, the fact that you can really alter the curriculum for the students. So there's tons more in there. I'm not even sure what my completely free. And this next slide, don't freak out if you can't see it. Trust me, I understand it. It's very small. I just wanted you to be able to see it for future reference. Over here on the left, you see that you have a demo login, and you can actually, on the PDF version or on the PowerPoint version, you can actually click that blue link right there, and you can use that username and password and do a teacher demo just to see if you like it, if something that might be good for your classroom. And these right here, those are those topics that I talked about. So you see some of them are renting, buying, pay me while I sleep. I haven't investigated all of them, but I thought that it could be beneficial if maybe you were looking for something. And Ellen, thank you. Something that EverFi lacks, I did notice that as well. So the thing on the right over here that you see, that's what I was just talking to you guys about the special education modifications part. And it's not just for special education students, it could be for struggling readers. Or maybe you have a split classroom and half of your class is not maybe as accelerated as the other half. You never know. So that was foolproof. And I'm going to go ahead and close this. Now, I may have given a link for this Educators Technology website, but I want to talk about it some more just in case I didn't talk about it previously. This is educatorstechnology.com, and it's educational technology and mobile learning, and it's pretty much all for teachers. Now, things that I really liked about this website were the links across the top. So of course, I really like the blog, and I like to be able to go through and read different pieces of information and read up. But a lot of y'all asked questions about Google Drive. Especially, what if I'm not a Google Apps for Education school, which in my county, we are not Google Apps for Education. However, I use Google in my classroom every day. My students do not have Google logins. They do not have Gmails. They have no emails, as a matter of fact. But I give them and provide all of my resources to them through Google Drive. So if you're wondering some of that, like for instance this right here, how to connect your Google Drive to your Edmodo. Well, there's step-by-step with pictures how to do that, and other different kind of Google Drawing, 10 ways to use Google Drawings in your classroom. So that's wonderful. EdTech resources. This looks very similar to a resource that I showed y'all last time, but it is amazing because, for instance, are you looking for something that does bookmarking or back channel? So, for instance, our Todaysmeet currently is a back channel. How we're having a conversation at the same time while we're listening, we can also converse in a side room. Okay, avatar creation, citation tools. I like how it's really split up and it's easy to see all of these resources. We also have Google tools for teachers, so you can see different options, iPad apps, and I understand that all of us do not have iPads, but those are excellent iPad apps. This is just a tiny piece of information. I'm not sure how many Apple users we have out there, but we know that online GMAP testing is coming up, and one of my main concerns was whether or not they were going to take my lab during Georgia milestone testing. And this, I know this is very random, but I noticed that on my iPhone I just had a recent iOS update, and one of the major updates is they made iOS devices with the update compatible to, there's no sound. You guys are not hearing sound. Is anyone hearing anything? Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay, sorry. I saw people start to put that there is no sound. Okay. Sorry. iOS, one of the major updates is that it is now compatible with educational standardized testing. I just thought that was amazing. So throwing that out there. Sorry, let me get back to where I was. Anyway, so how to use all this different stuff in the classroom. Sorry, y'all. I get off topic super easy. And iPad resources, different posters you might want for your classroom. These are different 21st century skills classrooms, posters for your classroom, teachers' guides, and here, this is the number one thing that I love, because how to use blogs in your classroom, how to use iPads, how to use personal learning networks, Pinterest, Evernote, all of that different stuff. And I like how it's really split up and really easily. Books for teachers is really great because it's not books that you can give to your students. It's ones that might help you as a teacher, how to be a better teacher. Well, not that one. How to speak and how to listen, different things like that. And I think I accidentally went to a new, there we go. One last thing, teacher tools. Same thing that you were seeing before, sticky note tools, things like that. Okay, so I thought this was an amazing website, and I just found it on Friday and went through it and kind of looked at things. I'm just not, don't have everything completely, awesome and written out, ready for you guys. So I definitely will be working on that and looking through that. And if you guys find some stuff that's really amazing about this website, if you choose to go through it, let me know and I will definitely talk about it. Okay, so let me see. I have just a couple more things to say before I'm going to open it up to have you guys ask questions and share some resources. So I hope you guys brought some resources or some ideas that you would like to know about, hear about, and we'll talk about those in just a minute. Thank you to Sherry Jeffers. I appreciate this. She emailed out this information. There is a free webinar coming up on Tuesday, February 10th from 4 to 5. This is going to be, the webinar is with NetSmarts. And I know lots of people who are using NetSmarts already in their classrooms. Sorry that this picture seems a little bit distorted, but I have the link right there for you if you would like to register free for that webinar. I think that you are not able to actually click it right this moment, but you can click it from the resources PowerPoint. And if anyone is interested, actually, here's what I'll do real quick. I'm going to post it in our chat box, and which is over in Todaysmeet. So if you are in Todaysmeet and you would like that, I will also post it in the chat box here, or the questions down here, and give that to you guys. I should take a picture for y'all so you can see what the background looks like on my end of it. It is crazy. Okay, so has anybody heard about it? And anybody heard about this webinar? Sherry was saying that she believes that this is going to be a real important webinar because it is going to possibly discuss the shift we're going to see in our curriculum. So it's going to be really important, especially if you use NetSmarts. So I would definitely go and try it. That's going to be a day full for me of professional learning, and so I'm going to go to it and try to get everything I can and share with you guys about that webinar. So I just wanted to get that word out for y'all. And questions and suggestions. So that is where this part is heading. So first I wanted to say a couple of things that people, I believe this one was also from Sherry Jeffers, and she wanted to talk about, or for me to talk about just for a minute, whether or not I had used Junior Achievement in my classroom, which I haven't, but some more resources that are going to be amazing. I just recently registered through Junior Achievement, and here are some of their programs that you can go through and you can utilize for free. And they are amazing and specifically geared towards our standards and geared towards middle school students. So some of them, just that I saw right off the bat for middle school students, are economics, ethics, economic climate, travel and tourism, and that's just career research. So some of y'all I know are also teaching careers. So Junior Achievement, and here is where you are able to sign up, and we have this, so this is just Junior Achievement in Georgia, and it's a very easy to navigate website. You can use them for marketing, for entrepreneurship units in your classroom, and they are partnering with Chick-fil-A, and they've created this Junior Achievement Finance Park simulation. So I am waiting for my logins personally for my classroom, or well, my teacher logins for my classroom, and I am super excited to get started in this. So has anyone ever used Junior Achievement in their classroom, and what were your thoughts? So let me know. Oops. Okie dokie. So as I see some say they haven't used it, thank you, Carrie Beth, I appreciate that. I see a lot haven't, and like I said, I haven't used Junior Achievement either, but I know that it's an amazing program, and I should be you know, a slap on the wrist there, because we actually have a Junior Achievement office in Augusta, Georgia, which is where I'm located, and I could be utilizing those speakers and all of their resources right now. So I'm going to get on that and let you guys know how it goes by next time. So another question was asked to me when I asked you guys to give me suggestions. What do you want to know about? How to use Google Earth and virtual field trips. So the reason that I ended up on that Educators Technology website, the most recent one I showed you, was because there is a teacher's guide to creating virtual field trips. So there are definitely ways that we could use Google Earth and create virtual field trips in our classrooms by using these awesome lesson plans, easy resources, and they are free, and they don't require any kind of student logins. You don't have to have student Gmails, and they are amazing. Some of the examples of ways that you might be able to use these virtual field trips, or especially Google Earth, are maybe on your economics or business law sections. What do the people look like? What does the environment look like in different countries? How is the law established in a different country, whatever it is, and they can go and take these field trips through different buildings, through different areas, climates. You can also bring in your science and social studies in there, and you're doing cross-curricular projects that will definitely touch on lots of different cross-curricular or foundational skills. Another teacher, so definitely use those two websites right there because they're going to be really super helpful. Another teacher asked me to mention typing.com/tutor, and I love this. What are you guys using for typing for your students to type, or to reinforce typing? What are you guys using? So let me know. Typing Web, I definitely use Typing Web. I also use NitroType. That does not necessarily teach typing, but it is super fun for those every once in a while days that the students get to race each other, and they really enjoy that. You'll see here we have on typing.com, this is typing.com/tutor. And Typing Web is not the same thing as typing.com, right? That's a question. You'll see here the students can go through, you can create them accounts, and you can track their progress. It's very visual. It shows them where to click, what to type, and it's pretty cool. Oh, so this is Typing Web. Okay, so you can see right here the students can go through. They really have enjoyed this. I never used, I guess whenever I type in Typing Web, or it just takes them straight to the site, but I do absolutely love this site, and the students love it too, so that's really, really helpful. It keeps track by class, so I like that too. Yeah, that's excellent. I do notice there are lots of advertisements on there as well. So that's something you got to be a little bit careful of, though. I had a question. I've had this question many times, and I'd love for you guys to help me out or kind of have a discussion with me. How are you addressing SLOs in your classroom? Previously, my answer to this question is I don't know how to answer that question, because your SLO tests are different in every single county. Supposedly, only from what I know, I only know any information about what's happening in my county, and that a group of teachers in the county came together, created the test, and then it was vetted, sent to the state for approval, and it got approved or didn't get approved, and then we gave the test this year. I'm not sure exactly how it's happened in other counties. So the test was created with the standards in mind based on just one grade level, and so those standards were standards that we already taught. So I really have continued teaching the exact same thing, and that's all I really know. I see some say that's how they did it in other counties, and I think that was pretty standard protocol. So as far as, and what I've been told also by my curriculum director, my middle school instructional director, I can't remember the word now, director of learning, that's it. My director of learning for middle schools says no study guides. We're not allowed to say this is what's on the test and all that kind of stuff, and I understand, and that is completely fine. So when people ask how I'm addressing them, I am reviewing every day. That's the best way I really know to discuss it. Anybody else? How are you showing growth? How are you ensuring that your students are getting, and this is a question for you guys, how are y'all ensuring that from the pre-test to the post-test that your students are doing what they need to do? And so that's my question. Whoops. Okay. Rebecca, that sounds about the exact same thing that I'm doing. Covering standards, doing the best we can. I know that it's not included in our TIM score this year. I'm trying to take them very, very seriously though, because while they're not included in our TEM score, they are still ultimately attached, to our name and our portfolio, teaching portfolio, for lack of a better term. Also, whether or not the SLO is multiple choice, fill in the blank, short answer, essay, all of that was based on who wrote the test in your county. So I haven't heard anything of whether it's staying or going away. I don't really have, unfortunately, a lot of answers because I am completely on the exact same level as all y'all. I'm just a teacher, and so I hear just what you guys have heard me. So, if you guys continue to put suggestions, examples, ideas up for me, and hopefully we are going to get through this alive. I want to definitely say that I am so sorry to Carrie Beth. I have continued to botch up her live binder link. I continued to put my personal one underneath hers, and I am so sorry. I sent it out, but I have got, hopefully, Carrie Beth, check the link that is here right now and make sure that is the correct one. I want you guys, I believe that is all I had for right now. Please give me some suggestions for how I can go. Oh, thank goodness, Carrie Beth. I have gotten it correct finally. I kept messing it up. What direction do you want me to go in the next webinar? Because our next webinar is actually a good bit of time from now. It is not going to be, I believe, until March 23rd. So that's a long time. We have 15 minutes, and I would love to know how you guys want me, or what direction you want me to go in. Accounting, I see accounting. I would love to try to find some fun accounting resources as well. And I know we have tons of, way more resources than you could probably ever know what to do with. Some suggestions that I've received from John Pritchett, who sets us up every week, is actually go into explaining some of the resources and showing you step by step some of the resources that I have given. So, for instance, Pixton Comic Maker, that I talked about one or two of our sessions. I wanted to know, is that something you guys wanted to see? Did you want to see me actually demonstrate how I have set my students up to create websites for STEM? I've created Google Sites with my students and showed just a select few, well, it's actually 60, but shown them how to create Google Sites with parental permission and, of course, with my principal's permission. So, or could be how to create a Google site for yourself, whatever it is. I have entrepreneurship resources way more than you guys probably would want, but I definitely will present those. What else do you guys have that you'd like to see? I know for one, does anyone have any marketing resources that they want to share or that they think are good for our classes? Carrie Beth, you teach marketing right now, don't you? I think that would be amazing. I know a lot of us would need or might need some marketing resources or how to use those. So I'm going to type marketing in here. What about, have any of y'all tried out any of those resources from last time? Any of those resources from last time? Or you could also just think about what you need. What do you feel like you're still having trouble with? What could fill up your resources for you? I'm going to show you guys real quick. How much time do I spend on business law? The students spend 4 to 5 days on business law, which in consideration of how much time there is in the whole 9 weeks is a large portion. So but also I like to talk about business law, and I like the content of it, so I enjoy talking to them about it, and I enjoy explaining, different parts that they don't understand. I wanted to show you guys another example or another thing that I have been doing lately. For my students, I noticed some said that they've given some examples of things that they're using for accounting, and I have actually had, that's a good question, Carrie Beth. I teach 6 classes a day. They are 45 minutes or so each. The order of my classes goes 2 7th grade classes, and then I have 2 8th grade classes, and then I have 2 6th grade classes. And we don't have block scheduling, and that's how it's going right now. And it's a little bit difficult because at our high school they have just gone to a 7-period day, so it has been a little bit hectic trying to figure out if there's anything else that we possibly could offer down here at the middle school and where we could really fit it in so that we could complement what they're doing at the high school. Yes, it is a 9 weeks. Every 9 weeks I change students. So pretty much I teach about 97% of the students in the school. We have almost 650 students in the school. I am maxed out in all of my classes, 30 students each, and it is tough, very, very tough. Some people have asked me how I would go about stretching out some of the curriculum. So those are ideas. The ones that I talked about today are possibly really good ideas, and especially last time we were together. Those are good ideas for how you could really stretch out the 9 weeks curriculum into a semester. Oh my goodness. A-B rotation. That sounds crazy, Carrie Beth. Wow, there's all kinds of talk about going from a 9 weeks to a semester. thing that I was going to show y'all, I've just lost my brain now. I apologize. Actually, one teacher said that they would like to know where some of those resources were located, so I'm going to show you really quick. This actually will answer that question that you just had, Amanda, about teaching 4th, 5th grade, all grades for a semester. Sorry guys, I'm just kind of processing everything that's going through. First, those of you who were asking questions about where can you find, well, I want to start by saying this. Please, please, I know you are a little bit on the spot right now. If you would, definitely give me some suggestions. I have some here. I'll save the transcript and send that out. And also I will post it on this site. This is the live binder where I'm posting all of my resources. I'm going to post that in the chat box, which is Todaysmeet, but I will also post it here in the other area as well, hopefully. It's not letting me. This is a Google form for you guys to use. Also, all of our webinars are currently posted. Right here I have the PowerPoint and the recording. Tomorrow there will be one for February 2nd, which is today's, and the PowerPoint and recording that we are currently doing right now. Somebody else asked about the Macmillan videos. So underneath Computer Apps Resources, I'm not sure, I think Amanda just asked about 4th and 5th grade resources. That definitely is right here. I will post this in the chat box or the Todaysmeet box for you. And you can access that right there, and you can see these are kindergarten all the way through 6th grade, and these are computer apps resources, and there are tons more other than that as well though. Tell me how you guys liked using Todaysmeet instead of the chat or questions box inside the normal webinar thing. Did y'all like that? Would you want me to do that each time? Give you the resource, give you the link for Todaysmeet. It's free. You'll be able to see what everyone said. And Carrie Beth, you're a rock star. Thank you so much for that suggestion. And it'll be really helpful. It was awesome for me because if you guys only knew the size of this tiny tiny little box and how tiny the little itty-bitty font size is, it's really difficult. If you have something you'd like me to place on the binder, I'm always open to, oh, this is amazing. I forgot to tell you all about this. Okay, so this is, I only added to this. This was given to me by my county, and I'm just going to show you all really quick. Ellen, I kept it on the side just in case because we only have 21 people who are actually attending today. So I'm hoping, because we have 55 people registered for the webinar, so I'm hoping that people will come back and watch the recording at some point. And so that's why I kind of wanted to keep it on the side. Actually, you're right. If people, I don't know, I'll think about it, sorry. This right here is, do any of y'all recognize this SLO template maybe for putting in your pre-test and post-test scores? Does this look familiar, some of it? Well, that's a good point, Carrie Beth. This is what I'm using for recording my pre- and post-test student scores, and it'll tell me whether or not they made, these are examples, and these are not real students or real scores, but I can use this with the predetermined state formula that's typed in, I believe, right here. And you can see whether or not your student met the growth target or exceeded the growth target, and then how many met or exceeded, and that's per quarter. So I created that. I didn't create the whole thing. I just took what they gave me and what my county gave me, and I didn't really understand how to use it or how to read it. So I took what they gave me, added some pretty colors and words that would help me and my other partners in the county, and then I made a how-to video, which actually is in a Dropbox, and it tells you where to paste things, what each of the different pieces of information means, and things like that. So if anybody was interested or needed that, you're welcome to that, or you could just take it and change it for whatever you needed it for if you need something like that. So, but like I said, we all know that this whole thing is kind of up in the air and confusing, so we'll see where it goes from here. I hope I've answered all the questions that were posted to me. If not, please email me or ask again, and I think I am going to go ahead and stop the recording now. If you guys have any other questions, comments, put it in the chat box. Remember, it'll be open until March 1st, so you are welcome to do that as well. So I'm going to stop recording.